strong on the bridge tonight. We got dreams and we got fight. Voices loud in the city light. Change is coming into sight. History told by scars and pain. Echoes deep in every name. Legal truths we must reclaim. Through the storm and through the rain. Thorough black talk worldview. With brother tax, Sister K. Sister Marcy, your brother blacksmith. Cut the check on no vote, yeah. Justice calls from open skies. Tears that fall ain't no disguise. Marching forward, no surprise. Strength and hearts you can't downsize. Every voice a sweet refrain. In this fight
talk worldview with brother Ty, sister Kata, sister Marcy, I'm brother Blacksmith. We are an independent black American media commentary platform for political and social discussion. We stand on the foundation of what it means to have black pride. Every Thursday night we meet here on the Brooklyn Bridge to have political and social commentary, discussing only the things that matter to us. Brooklyn is our foundation, and we honor our loved ones, great ancestors, historians, economists, and business leaders of the past, present, and future. We are thorough in our approach to insight and perspective of history, politics, and activism, here and abroad, wherever black people are, and rising up against oppression. We welcome the black family to engage in the conversation and offer their perspectives. We aim to heal, win, and maintain freedom by any means necessary. We keep it thorough wondering. So join us here every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. See ya on the bridge, baby.
Yeah, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, your brother Blacksmith, and sister Marcia will be joining us shortly. We also have a special guest tonight. Our sister Brooke will be in the buildings to give us an update on the New York Reparation Commission's meeting that took place earlier this week. So she is the grassroots media on the ground up in Albany, giving us the 411. So she'll be in a few minutes. We got a lot to discuss. Brother Tad, how are you?
Oh man, you know, I'm those joints got me on fire. They sound so flavorful. I know you put your 1-2s in there, you know, super producer, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes doing things. Yeah, it's always good to hear your name in the song. It's just like, they shouted me out. No doubt. But I'm really feeling good, sis. I'm really feeling good. Life is good. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that we have another week, another year here, passing this information out to the people. You know, we coming up on election time. I'm really optimistic, sis, that our folks are truly waking up to the fact that we will need our own political party. And I mean, we got great minds that could truly organize these things. You being one of them, but also folks on a national stage with national platforms, people like Dr. Claude and others who understand what it is for us to truly be a free people. Because it's not just free from the system, but free in our thinking. Start realizing we have to do what's in our best interest and stop following these fake political pundits. Because more rapidly we see information coming out about things we were saying years ago of right and exact. You know, we're not conspiracy theorists. We're just people that happen to read books outside of Facebook. So yeah, I feel good. I feel vindicated because we always on point. And sometimes we don't even have the information, but we feel it in our spirit. And we know that we're moving in the right direction. So that feels great. And salute to everybody who's tuned in and rocking out with us.
100. We definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all coming to rock out with us every Thursday evening. Tell somebody to tell somebody. It goes down 8 to 10 p.m. And also, don't forget, Sundays, 2 p.m., Brother Tad and the C Gutter and the OG Wisdom Podcast. They had a fantastic show last week. I hope you were able to catch it. If not, you can always catch the repeat on our Thorough Black Talk Facebook page. I'm glad you like the song, sis. I'm doing my 1-2s behind the scene. They better stop playing with me. Once you start figuring out how to work these systems, boy, you either catch up with technology or take control of it. So I decided to take control of it. So we're going to control our own narrative over here,
That's right.
music and all, so that YouTube and these other streaming platforms can get off our back. They don't have to worry. We don't have to worry, rather, of taking somebody else's music. No, that's all owned by Thorough Black Talk. And in fact, pretty soon, you're going to see some of those tracks on iTunes and other places where, you can rock out to them as well. So, I'm doing my 1-2. I tell you, I wasn't taking these classes for nothing.
All right. And since we had a powerful show, I'm so glad you were able to come back this Sunday. You be cooking like you be cooking. Shout out to Sister Tim. Shout out to Dr. Covington. I feel that in this climate, you know how me and you get down. But I always say we have to hear real sisters talk now, because I'm tired of these bimbos and clones, those who trying to go along to get along. We need authentic Black women voices, not multicultural, not multiracial. We need those who are stern and strong in their position and who understand what's going on right now, what's afoot, because everybody could claim being a Black woman now. And from my readings, when I came in, you had Reverend Dr. Barashangu's book, African Woman, Original Guardian Angel. You had the brother Akil's book, Black Woman Goddess, Mother of Civilization. You had so many books that talk about the importance of Black women. And that was in the foundation of my teachings. So now it's kind of crazy to see anybody could just jump in the pool and say, hey, I'm a Black woman, whether it's a trans woman, whether it's a biracial woman. And this is no knock to those other groups, but stay in your lane. This is not your lane. Stay over there. So that's why I'm so glad y'all three got to jump on the line. And there's other sisters out here, as well as in the audience, other sisters who hold the same sentiment. And that's why we appreciate them so much. Because as Dr. Clark said, we can't win this war with half of the army. Black men need Black women, like Black women need Black men. We can't be divided in what's going on right now. So I appreciate you, sis. Make a long story short.
Appreciate you too, brother. You know how we rock out. We go back in this game. But, again, kudos to Dr. Covington and Sister Tam for coming in, and, the brothers just allowing us to talk our talk on Sunday, because, too much foolishness is going on, and, it's really making me nauseous. The things that I'm seeing, the things that I'm hearing, but also you have to remember that, a lot of our people, as you said, Brother Tad, are waking up. A lot of people are tired of the shenanigans. And, speaking of waking up, I see we got our brother Blacksmith on the 1-2. Brother Black, what's good? What's good with you?
I'm in the house and we talking facts tonight. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Brother Anunnaki.
Oh, there he here. Front center.
All right.
How you doing, Sister Keisha?
I'm doing great, brother. I'm
glad
ready
to be here.
I'm about to take a trip, get up out of here for a couple of days, and so next week, Thursday, family, we will not be on the broadcast. So we're gonna rock out heavy tonight. Brother Black, I don't know if you got a chance to hear the new cuts for the show. Definitely had to put everybody in it to make sure everybody is giving their flowers.
No, I didn't hear it. I'm gonna go back after we finish tonight and go to the beginning, because I came in pretty much right after the song came on.
I think you approve. I think you would approve. And also we got a new outro song as well. So again, I was just playing around behind the scenes, trying to figure out this music thing as far as, intros and outros, and actually having a chance for us to control our own voices. So, as I get better in this game, I'm going to pass it on to y'all so y'all can learn how to do it as well. That's what we do. Yeah. Still sharpen steel over here.
That's
what I mean? I'm taking classes for the whole crew. That's how we get down. We ain't paying nobody. You know what? No more. We ain't paying nobody.
Word,
But
that's
you know, unless they doing right by the people and keeping it thorough. Shout out to Doggy Diamonds TV. You can definitely catch Brother Taz's interview on Doggy Diamonds TV last week as well. It is also on the Thorough Black Talk Facebook page. Brother Taz was going in, he was getting heated. I was like, uh-oh, they done got my brother riled up. He tired of the shenanigans.
You know what it is, sis? Because Doggy hit me a couple of nights before that, you know, because, you know, I'm an early bird. For those who don't know, I'm normally in the bed by 8:30. But I get up at 4:30 in the morning, but I definitely love my sleep. You know, that's how we stay recharged, refreshed, and youthful, you know. But we like Dog is more like my brother than cousin, but we had to have authentic conversations because again, everybody's out here cosplaying, and there's nothing wrong with being who you are. You know what I'm saying? But there's no longer any authenticity on who people are. And what I see, right, Sister Keisha, people are looking for acceptance and validation. And some people don't even realize subconsciously they engage with folks and they want folks to be like them instead of appreciating folks for who they are. And I've learned that just growing up, you know, just throughout my life. Spanish people will talk to me in Spanish, think I'm Spanish. Muslims brothers see the beard, want to greet me assalamu alaikum. Hebrew brothers see the Kwanzaa pin on my jacket and they want to say shalom. And I get all of that. But people are always trying to recruit people to their way of thinking. And they don't even realize that. As opposed to this day and time, if you really want to celebrate the creator, show your level of appreciation, then appreciate diversity. There's nothing wrong with people being different. But when you're trying to get everybody to be the same, so diverse that we're the same, that's when we got problems. So you want to include men with the women. Why not accept the men's diversity and just let them be men? Stop trying to convince the little boys to be girls and little girls to be boys. It's just getting confusing for everybody. And nobody knows how to be who they naturally are. Dr. Covington said, you know, that quote she gave was a very profound quote, Sister Keisha, when she said, who are we uninterrupted? As Black folks, who are we uninterrupted? Let's say colonization never happened. Let's say slavery never happened. Who would we be as Black folks? And on a micro level, who would we be as individuals uninterrupted, without the trauma, without the heartbreak, without the disappointments? Who would we be? And that's something to think about because it's never too late to be our best selves. But unfortunately, since we are not working on our best selves, we want to charge other people with being their best selves when we're all a work in progress. And we just have to acknowledge that. Nobody's perfect and nobody got it down pat 100%. And that's just a fact.
Agree, brother. Agree. We're gonna play a short clip and we'll come right back and get into Brother Blacksmith because I know he got some info for us tonight. Here we go, family.
Are coming in and just, you know, interfering with what we could. These are a whole bunch of ideas pieced together, but I saw a young lady online and she was quoting someone else, and maybe someone that had asked her a question of who she would be uninterrupted. Right? Like, who would you be uninterrupted? Uninterrupted by racism, uninterrupted by, you know, rampant drugs in your community, uninterrupted by irresponsible programming, right? Television, music, etc. Like, who would we be uninterrupted? And I thought that was such a you know, just like, you know, a poignant point to make or a question to ask, right? Who are we uninterrupted? And I'm just connecting to some of the things that I heard her say with regard to, you know, the passing of the baton, etc.
Yeah, that's a powerful question. That's one for everybody, us, the audience.
I wrote it out and put it on my wall. Yeah. And I look at it and I think about it. Yeah, it's a heavy question.
Because that was on the social aspect, you know, talking about our environment, but who would we be even without our internal challenges? You know what I'm saying? Bad habits that we picked up along the way, you know? Yeah. Gutter, anything you want to?
So family, you know, that is a question, you know, who would you be uninterrupted, who would you be? You know, because we have so much distraction that is thrown at us 24/7, 365, especially with all of these streaming platforms and uh, film platforms and audio platforms. You got Clubhouse and, you know, X, and it's just, and you go in some of these rooms and I'm like, man, I got to get up out of here. You know, I tried to drag Brother Tad with me. He was like, I'm getting up out.
I can't.
That's what he did, Black. He was like, nope. Nope. So I was in there, and me and Dr. Ajua, shout out to Dr. Ajua, but I think she had her feel of it as well. We're going to get started with our brother Blacksmith, but never forget to check out the OG Wisdom podcast every Sunday at 2 p.m. Some shout outs real quick before we come back with Brother Black. Shout out to Sister Donna. Brother Kerwood, Alabama is always in here heavy. Crush 409 Philly family by way of South Jamaica in the building. Aunt Marie, Uncle Jesse, Pizzo on the check-in, Abibi Fahodier, Sister Farnessa. Thank you. I'm trying to do my little thing behind the scene. You know, with this technology, boy, it's a whole bunch you can do. I'm telling you, wait till y'all see my animated joints, boy. Woo! Woo! You gonna see Sister Keisha and Brother Taz slaying the Urugu. Boy, it's gonna be funny.
Throw a couple of Negroes in there too.
Oh yeah, definitely that. I was just talking to somebody the other day, Brother Tad, about that. You know, generations prior to ours were really allowing saboteurs, if you will, to come amongst us and, you know, disrupt everything that we were doing. So it's a new day, you know, as you said, and they got to catch up. And I'm saying this to a lot of our olders and elders. You know, this technology is moving at such a rapid pace that to be docile and, you know, to have a feeling of dissent against technology is only going to hinder your growth now and in the future, because it's growing rather rapidly. Brother Blacksmith, what you got for us today? I know you've been hearing a lot, seeing a lot. The people want to know, brother, what's going on with Brother Anunnaki tonight? What's good?
Can't hear you, Black.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Yeah, thank you for that special introduction, Sister Keisha. It's the first time you ever called me that, so I guess it's gonna stick. Thanks to Sister Farnessa. But anyway.
She takes all the credit, Sister Farnessa.
I know she listening, so there she go. What's she saying there? I'm on the bridge, y'all. Okay.
Anunnaki's on the bridge.
Peace out to you, sweetie. Anyway, to answer your question, sister, y'all in New York, so I didn't hear, and I know both of y'all are somewhat involved in the entertainment industry, so I have a question before I go in. How did Mariah Carey's mother and sister pass away? Do y'all know? Okay, because that happened to. Say again.
Were they abducted by aliens?
I don't know. No details in the media, and you know, I don't have no real contacts that is in the industry that, you know, could tell me straight out what happened. But
wait, they just recently passed away? Did I miss that? I guess I did. Yeah, let me get out in here.
Yeah. I believe on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And they both passed away on the same day. The way it sounds, they weren't together. So I don't think it was a car accident or some type of event like that. Now, if it was, then why wouldn't they just say that? You know what I'm saying? I believe it was a sacrifice, maybe because we all know she was married to Tommy Mottola, and if you know, you know already on that. I'm not going to go through that because that's a 10-minute explanation in and of itself. So that's happened. I believe it's a sacrifice. And she's one of the most famous people in the world. So, you know, maybe it was her time to give up somebody. As far as the migrants are concerned, We're getting into almost the fall season now, and from what I understand, they only have 30 days in the shelter before they have to go. They have to leave the shelter, and a lot of them are sleeping on the street. What's going to be the situation in the winter when it comes? Who knows? But
They're gonna be giving housing, from what I understand.
I don't believe they can build that much housing that quick, regardless of what they say. You know what I'm saying? So they might start opening up. Go ahead, sister. I'm listening.
No,
you saying something?
No,
I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. But in terms of housing, what the plan is, or what I've heard the plan to be, is all these businesses who are doing remote businesses are going to open up their offices as apartment houses in New York.
And in addition, sis, they're also, as you can see, all around New York, they're building these high-rise apartments, and they're going to need to fill them. And
right, they're all empty. These $1 million apartment buildings that are all empty right now.
And as we see, and some of them may go to California in search of warmer weather, because as we see, 822, they just passed the bill that they're going to be giving low to moderate income undocumented immigrants at least
$200,000, up to $200,000 for
down payment on homes in California.
So isn't that a smack in the face to those of us who've been asking for reparations for 20, 30 years now?
Absolutely.
That's a disrespectful one. Hey, they smacking us in the face with gloves. They're not even using their hand. That's more disrespectful than anything.
Brother Black, in updating reparations, in all fairness, Vice President Kamala Harris is going to have a meeting about a discussion about reparations. In all fairness,
don't get them wings off of Sister Marcia. She can't even keep them wings on her back right now with what you just said.
See, they flapping now, right? Well, Kamala Harris said she's going to have a discussion about a meeting to discuss reparations. I mean, that's a start, isn't it?
While illegals getting all the grip in the world.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Did y'all see what's going on in Colorado?
Yes, Colorado. Yes, them fellas took over. You saw them walking around.
Complex.
Yes, they took over that complex. They walking around with their Uzis and everything.
Here we go, family. You know we're gonna pull it up over here. Here we go. Check this out now. This is Aurora, Colorado apartment complex, now home to many migrants. Council member Danny Jurinsky, I guess I'm saying that right, says gangs have taken over the complex. New footage obtained by Vincent Arenas shows an armed gang at a complex in Aurora. Aurora officials have been investigating a Venezuelan gang, the Tren de Arrego gang, whatever. But they take over. Man,
you say it, Tren de Aragua.
Thank you, Brother Black. But look at this. They are taking over this apartment complex. Now, imagine you're at home and something like this happens where you live at. I asked the question, in particular, those of us who live in liberal states and cities who have ridiculous draconian gun laws. You are going to need to know how to defend yourself, family. And here on Thorough Black Talk, Brother Tad always tell you pistols and passports. So you better learn to use something to protect yourselves. As Brother Black says, now we're going into the winter season, fall, and these folks are already all over the streets. Brother Ray, shout out to the BK William Mackey History Club. He says that they are flooded all over Flushing Avenue in Brooklyn. That's a fact. That is a fact. On Clinton, they done took over Clinton Hills. Yep. Midtown Manhattan. I keep telling y'all that it's crazy. It's crazy right now. But these things are occurring, and to have these folks gain access to hundreds of thousands of dollars, where you have citizens allegedly, and that's up for debate. None of us are citizens if you really want to get into the legal
Or like
ramifications.
denizens.
Right. Get nothing. Get nothing. But they want you to go out and keep this system as it is. Because when you vote, family, that's what you're doing. You're keeping the system as is. And although I don't agree with most things that Cornel West says out of his mouth, but recently he did say something that I do agree with. You cannot change a system such as the Democrat and Republican parties, the Democrat and Republican Congress and Senate, from the inside. You have to agitate and destroy it from outside and build anew. And it seems that a lot of us are being bullied if you don't tote a particular party line. This is what I'm seeing from political pundits. This is what I'm seeing from the candidate on the left. This is what I'm seeing from leftist media outlets all over the globe. I am seeing this. They are stopping people on the streets and asking questions of this, and people are being bullied to choose one side or other. This is crazy, but I thought these things should be held in secret, right? But apparently they coming for you if you're not toting a particular party line. Sister Marcia, your thoughts on this invasion in Aurora, Colorado, and the particular climate right now with this bullying that's going on for people who don't wish to choose either party?
Well, like you said, pistols and passports, that's all we need. And all these still buyback programs. There's one happening around here coming up soon.
Wow.
So you're telling citizens to, and these are usually led by churches and everything like that, because there's a political wing involved in it. And you're telling citizens to give up the only thing that can save them in some type of altercation like this. Someone comes, especially in Southeast Queens where I live, majority residential, right? There are complexes, but still, in all, you're still you're still putting citizens in danger. And citizens in Southeast Queens, particularly that I can speak of, don't want to form a local policing. They want all their policing done by the police department. Well, I pay my taxes, so they got to do this. They don't care about you. And the only way you're going to protect your property is by you protecting your property. Like the other day, on my block, 95 cops came running down the block for one guy. I was outside. I said, why are all of you guys running for one guy? And someone already said they got him. What are you going to do? Trample on him? And I guess their sergeant was around. So he was like, oh, slow down, y'all. Slow down, y'all. It was like phony ass craps. And then they're walking on the roof of my garage and everything. I was like, fall, just fall. Just so that I could get some money from my garage. But needless to say, the security of our communities is more our responsibility than their responsibility. And even if we see someone being captured, it is our responsibility still to make sure that person is safe, because 95 cops were coming down for this one person. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know what the person did, nor do I care. It's none of my business, actually. But you're on my block, you're on my property, y'all are trampling around looking for evidence. That's where I care. And, you know, to the point of them invading our privacy on who we're going to give our power to. That's truly none of their business, number one, but it's also what they've been doing in terms of the gendering conversation, right? They'll have these mock pop-ups all over the city asking you, what do you think about this gender? What do you think if a 5-year-old wants to gender out and this and that? And people who say that biology is biology, they cut the interview and stick to the person that wants to align with the agenda. It is our responsibility to be free. And in order to be free is for us to speak our minds and do our due diligence. We cannot relinquish our power to these people, because then we're falling victim. We're victimizing ourselves, right? And this goes back to our bad relationships. We continue to walk into the bad relationship knowing that it's a bad relationship. It's time to bow out gracefully and do what Dr. Cornel West is saying. You can't break it up inside. We've tried that. We've tried that for 60 years. 60 years consecutively, we've been inside, and inside has failed us. So let's go back outside, because when we were back outside, we were getting business done. So like my favorite artist says, we outside. Let's go back outside. Let's take business outside, because inside ain't doing nothing.
Love it, sis. Always keeping it thorough. She keep it thorough. She keep it thorough, brother Ted. Don't beat her up tonight.
That sounds like a Sexy Red quote.
That's why you hurt my feelings like that for? I hurt my feelings like that for?
Who says we outside other than homeless people? I don't know. I keep hearing everybody say that, but who outside? Talk to me, sis.
Jadakiss. During our favorite time, of COVID, of the verses kept us alive during COVID. And so let's go back to this we outside business and be outside and be about business. And you know who my favorite artist is. Don't play me like you don't know.
Okay, my bad.
Love it. Yo, here we go. Now, excuse me, family. Mark Zuckerberg came out and admitted what we have all been saying, that he was, pressured by the Democrat and Biden administration to use Meta to scrub, any dissent for the COVID vaccine and the jab. But we already knew that. But, this is your government. This is what you want to uphold. This is a government that interferes in the due process. This is a government that breaks its own laws and expect you to abide by them. This is a government that has been problematic for quite some time. In fact, we were just talking about this migrant issue here in the United States and the influx of migrants all over this country becoming problematic. As former President Trump said, they are bringing in criminals. They are bringing in sexual predators. They are bringing in all types of people. And now white America is admitting that a lot of these other folks are coming in and dropping off these anchor babies, in particular the Asian community, who, walk through. They don't need a visa to go to Ecuador. They get to Ecuador and the, what do you call those? Coyotes bring them across the border. And, they take it from there. But of course, although a lot of these media outlets and commentators like to hone in their dissent for Latino immigrants, but also these Asian immigrants that are coming across the border that are also siping away resources that rightfully belong to us. And I'm glad that, these people are admitting such. Now they are telling these migrants to bring their children. We got enough room for all of you, but they want Black women to abort their babies. Shout out to Angela Stanton, who has been on these folks behind as far as that is concerned. We're going to play an old clip and we'll come right back and we'll discuss, family. Here we go.
They don't got abortion clinics at the border. They're telling us as American women, specifically Black American women, we need to abort our children. But if you coming across the border with your baby, oh, come to the land of milk and honey, the great land of opportunity. We'll take care of you. Joe Biden even said, I'll give illegal immigrants coming across the border $400,000 a piece. Can you imagine if they were to go to that Black single mother living in the hood? Not even $400,000.
I had to stop that, family, because of the music, but you get the point. You get the gist of what's being done here. And it's very, very problematic. And you have, Vice President Kamala Harris chuckling at such commentary, and I don't find it funny. And I'm getting real tired of a lot of people gatekeeping her. A lot of people have been gatekeeping commentators from asking her specific questions, even though it is pointing that we do so. We have to do better. So kudos to everybody who are in these chat rooms who are going after Kamala Harris and her gatekeepers. Brother Ty, your thoughts on this as far as this whole trying to get Black women to abort their babies while welcoming other folks to have anchor babies here at that. Your thoughts, Brother Tad?
Well, shout out to the Democratic Party, because this is in their spirit. I think people missed the cue when Hillary was running for president and she said that Margaret Sanger was her hero. Margaret Sanger talked about Planned Parenthood and said, we don't want to get word out that we want to exterminate Black babies. This was her position, but our folks don't read enough. And folks didn't get the cue when she was running and she said she's a Goldwater girl. Now, when she said she's a Goldwater girl, she was talking about Senator Barry Goldwater, who hated Black folks and let it be known. So when she let you know that she was racist, I don't know why we still follow the regime, because this is all they ever wanted to do. And when you try to tell our folks that, they act like that's not a big deal and it's not true. But I've never heard of a Democrat convention where they're promoting the deletions of babies. And they're always selling that to us. See me, I'm of the mindset of a Robert F. Williams and Ida B. Wells. Every home should have a Winchester rifle, because they are circling the wagons around us. That's why years ago when we talked about pistols and passports, I hope folks don't think it was just rhetoric, because I think I kind of documented where the country was going. And what was that, Sister Keisha, about 2014, 2015? When we were talking about pistols and passports back then, letting it be known that these people are turning it up on us. And we've been rocked to sleep, that folks don't even realize it. So now they got these migrants coming in, kicking in doors, making people evacuate. Then they're convincing our folks to voluntarily give up the only line of defense we really have, because we can't call on our open enemy to come protect us from other enemies. And now they're convincing us to delete our children before they even get a chance. And Sister Keisha, Sister Marcia, I'm going to pass the mic after this, but I find it so crazy that doctors and politicians are really trying to justify that a fetus is not a baby. They said it's not a baby. I think it's like a couple of weeks old, the baby develops a heartbeat. And uninterrupted, as we talked about on the show, what would this fetus be uninterrupted? It would become a full-grown person. You are essentially deleting our future. And they talk about it and minimize it as if these babies don't have no value. And I think this is real tricky, because many of us have been convinced that that's a form of birth control, and it is not. It is not a form of birth control. It's a form of genocide, and we have to get reacclimated to what it is for us to be a group that's about expanding our family and flourishing in the world like we deserve. Other folks, come have your baby. We got money. For us, it's just like, damn, y'all. And I don't know why our folks don't get it and why they're not hurt, because this is a serious, it's a serious situation. and we don't have time to play, because the fact of the matter is they're trying to wipe us off the planet. And that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Sister Marcia, your thoughts?
You know, the self-assassination of your own blood is very tricky topic. You know, I know when I conceived a child, my only child, and it was like, oh, let's just go do this and have a great day. Then it was like, wait, I'm removing. I I think the point is, well, so I'm removing this out of me. This is a part of me. How could I do this? I think I had a dream as well of, you know, being tormented for such of an action. So I didn't proceed with it. But I know too many sisters that went through that, and I can't tell you what their mindsets were at that particular time, but it was coined as, you want to be successful in the future, this is going to hold you back, you're not going to have any opportunities, you're not going to this, you're not going to do that. And it's hard for people to make that choice, and to make that choice means that you're selfish upon yourself, because now I'm choosing this for me, and most people don't want that. And I think Lauryn Hill's song Zion just really puts it into point when she makes the decision that the life that she's creating belongs here for this and that reason. I think we've experienced interruptions so many times, whether we do it by self or by systems and policies that interrupt us, but we're constantly being interrupted. And to not be interrupted, to your question earlier, is to actually take a selfless choice, to make that selfish choice to choose this. And also, you know, especially for me, what becomes the problem is that I make this
Sister Marcia, real quick, I think we lost Sister Keisha. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
yes. You make this choice, and quite possibly the father's not going to be there, right? And so now you have your double-edged sword, that you're raising a child, you're single, you know, so all the other parts of the system problem or whatever formula piles up against you. So you either do the self-deletion and you don't have these problems, and hopefully you'll have a successful future, or you create this family and it's a broken family, and you have to somehow become a successful person with your broken family and all of the other rhetorics that come in between. When it comes down to this particular opinion, I truly believe that it is the mother's, at the end of the day, it's both parents' choice to come together and make amends. But if she so feels that this is the best thing for her to do, like I did, then, you know, find a community. And if you can't find a community, find grace within the choice that you make, and hopefully the community that you need shows up. But it's your ability to create that environment that you want to see flourish for yourself and the family that you can create or delete. But personally, I'm for creation. I've sat there and, you know, assisted other people, but when it was my time, and I always say that, I wasn't thoughtful enough when I was there with sisters that made this choice. And then when it came my turn, I couldn't choose the same path that they did. And a lot of them broke free from me because I didn't choose the same path that they did. And they felt that, again, I was being selfish and I didn't choose what they chose. And, you know, I lost a lot of friends like that, but maybe they weren't meant to be my friends anyway.
Sister Marcia, real quick, you hit on so many good points. First of all, I want to tell people, check out, as you mentioned, Lauryn Hill. Her and Common got a dope song called Retrospect for Life. And it talks about this, and is actually a tearjerker. You know, the quote, the hook goes, $350 ain't worth your soul. $350 ain't worth your soul. And it speaks to what you brought up about the father not being there. I think a lot of times, as I stated, you know, people are using it as contraceptives, if you will. You know what I mean? Say, if I get pregnant, this is the solution, you know, as a form of birth control, when that shouldn't be the case, because whether the father is there or not, and chances are, if you do your vetting process, he'll stick around if you're wise enough. Today's women, I'm not too sure of, because children become an accessory more than a necessity right now. I say that because it feeds into the mindset that brothers don't want to be a part of the process. That's why I'm glad you said both parents have the conversation, because a lot of times I hear people say it's my body, my choice, my body, my choice. But when these folks said, yo, go get poked up, nobody stood on that business of my body, my choice. I mean, we did, but a lot of people didn't. And as a community, we have so many contradictions, and we have to address them. And not saying that we're all perfect, but we got to get back to just doing what's right. You know, we don't need it perfect, but we do need to do the right thing. So I'm glad you put it as both parents have having a responsibility, because unfortunately, when these decisions are made, nobody considers the father. Miss, if you don't want it, give it to dad. Maybe him and paternal grandma could raise this baby and give it a chance. I just saw a video the other day about the potential of Whitney Houston not being Sissy Houston's daughter. And it could have been another lady who Whitney Houston looked exactly like and sounds like. And I thought, imagine if Whitney was deleted. All of the greatness we'd have missed out on, not just musically, but part of the Black experience here in America. We have to think about the greatness that we're abandoning, because we're getting indoctrinated that our blessings is actually a curse. And this is the trick the devil will constantly play on us. And we got to be mindful. That's why these conversations are so important, because we're fighting wickedness in high places. This woman means us no good. These people don't mean us no good. Now, I'm not saying Trump's the savior, but I'm like Malcolm. I'm for the truth no matter who tells it. Say during his presidency, they want to open the borders, let in all of these criminals, all of these legals. They want to take the money. He said, yo, let's take care of Americans first. Then we think about other people. I found nothing wrong with that. But people said that's racist. When he said build a big wall, he's going to build the wall so high. Like, I saw no problem with that. Because as a group of people who've been asking for compensation for our ancestors' labors, and we're not just talking about slavery. We're talking about the Freedmen's Bank who got robbed. We're talking about redlining. We're talking about so much that was done to us. Mass incarceration, false incarceration, us being fired from jobs for little to no reason. Wealth literally be taken from us. Life being taken from us. And granted, the money don't make it better, but at least it helps us start over to rebuild, because you can't put a price tag on the emotional damage, the generational damage. Me and a coworker was talking today, and I'm gonna wrap this up. We were talking about how generations prior to us always found it hard to say, I love you. Found it hard to tell the children, I love you. And we was coming up with so much trauma that our elders dealt with, because they were in the South. We here in the liberal North. You know, we was born in a good time and in a good space. But our grandparents who were born in the Jim Crow South, who really had to deal with it, couldn't deal with the loss, so they stopped attaching themselves to so much. I think Dr. Joy DeGruy, Dr. Joy DeGruy covered it in Post-Traumatic Slavery when she talked about her white friend talking about her son, and then was like, oh, but Jamal is doing excellent. And she's like, oh, girl, that boy is trouble. She said subconsciously we do that. We minimize the value in our children because we don't want other people to see the value and snatch them from us. And we don't realize that's a generational curse we still pass on to one another. And many of us are breaking the curse now because we constantly tell our children how much we love them and what we expect from them. But all of this, but you can't put a price tag on that because so much has been taken from us. Even right now with our identity, telling me that a black man could be a black woman, he's cosplaying, he's stealing the black woman's identity. To have a woman who tells you she's from India, show you the dot on the middle of her forehead, show you all the 7-Eleven she owned, and then she want to tell you she's a black woman, that's identity theft. They keep taking so much from us, things that we value, things that are sacred to us.
But the question is, Brother Tad, us here listening right now, us on this platform right now, these are the things we value. Like I've said in many shows before, the ethos of us all is not that. And the code, the ethics systems is not in place. And in order for us to remedy that, and I fear that our generation, we're going to do what we're going to do, but we're going to really have to emphasize our knowledge and our pursuit of liberation onto our children and their children. Because if we're sitting here banging on closed doors, we're going to lose our minds and we're going to find ourselves fruitless. And in order for us to be fruitful, we're going to have to invest more within our children and their children. And one of the problems is the parents, right? Parents have their own identity crisis themselves. And, you're trying to mitigate something. You're trying to be a bridge, but at the same time, you don't want to show a fight with the parent. You don't want to show people that there is a problem with the way that your parents are thinking, because at the end of the day, these are the people that are raising you.
But you know what? Real quick, Sister Marcia, because I'm in agreement with you, right? Again, I always say all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and you lead by example. There is a code. I always got to put that out there. There's always a code. Everybody's not standing on it, but you stand on it, Brother Black, Sister Keisha, myself, folks in our audience. We stand on the code. So let's not say there's no code, because I like to think positively. I like to have a positive mindset so we can manifest these things. Because when we constantly say there is none, we're speaking it into oblivion. Let's bring it to fruition and say there is a code. Because for these children you're talking about, we have to be the example. Because remember, children are sponges and they watch. They watch how people move. If mommy's not acting right and daddy's not talking right and they drinking and smoking in the house and they bugging and they wilding, but then they got Sister Marcia, Sister Keisha, Brother Tad, Brother Blacksmith. They upright. They got good hygiene. They talk nice to me. They treat me well. This is what I want. I'm going to be this. I'm not going to be that. I'm going to be this. The reason why I don't smoke cigarettes, the reason why I don't smoke crack, and I'm not an alcohol abuser, because I've seen what it done to other people. There were positive people in my circle that inspired me to want to be better, to want to do better. In fact, shameless plug, but go watch the interview I did with Doggy Diamonds, and we talked about that. The way we was raised and what inspired me. I was always inspired and enamored by people who didn't have to worry about what areas they could go to and what they couldn't go to. People who were not worried about how they're going to eat tonight. That was a motivating factor for me to change my life because of the conditions I was born in. Being the child of a teenage parent, a grandmother who didn't have the best education. These are things that happen in Black communities, but it don't have to be us. We don't have to accept that identity. We can have a paradigm shift. And what
I totally agree with you. What I'm saying is,
no, I get it. No, I agree with you. Banging on doors.
Focus our energy. Let's focus on replicating this code.
That's my point.
Onto the children and stop worrying about our own peers, because our peers are not getting it. Our compliments out here are not getting it. So we're wasting valuable time trying to have this level of intellect with them when we could just give it to the sponges and let them absorb all of the riches that we have to offer without
Hey, y'all
having.
gotta wait till 8:30 to keep doing this. You heard?
That's your
Y'all gotta wait.
feedback. Okay, Sister Marcia.
Yeah, so as I was saying, without having to, fight with our peers, it's just a waste of time right now.
Yeah, well, I don't want to fight with them, and that's why I love what we do, because this is constructive. You know, we got a beautiful, intelligent audience. We have each other to bounce new ideas and bring not a new perspective, but the real perspective from us. We don't have mouthpieces. We don't have people cosplaying. That's why it was important that I had Sister Keisha, Sister Tim, and Dr. Covington on OG Wisdom, because I can't speak for Black women. Though I have daughters, though I have sisters, my mother's Black, my grandmothers were Black women, nobody could speak for Black women but Black women, not biracial women, not multiracial women, not approximate Black women, not a white woman dating a Black man. Black women. And when people talk about Black men in this country, it's my duty to protect the culture, because I am a Black man. I am from the hip hop generation. I am from the streets. I am a student of Dr. Clark and Dr. Khalid. I understand what it is to be incarcerated on Rikers Island, and I understand what it is to visit the dungeons of Africa and everything in between. I've seen brothers die and I've seen children born. These two eyes have seen a hell of a lot in this short 50 years. I've seen tons of stuff. And I still have my wherewithal and wits to understand how to decipher that we were put in these conditions. It wasn't by chance that we were born in these conditions. It was by design. And anything that could be designed can be destroyed. And we have to just make up our mind that we will destroy it, and it will happen. Because a lot of times, and I'm going to pass the mic to Sister Keisha, as Black folks, we've been through some horrific things around the world. Slavery, racism, police brutality. But I'm of the mindset of all the great things that we've done, because we need to highlight that. We always have to visualize winning. When you constantly visualize losing, you're going to put yourself in a victim position. You're going to have a victim mentality. You're going to have a war's me mentality. You're going to have self-pity, and you're not going to lift yourself up and move yourself forward. Our ancestors have did so much with so much less. They weren't able to read the King's English. They weren't able to speak proper English. They didn't have access to capital. They didn't have access to technology, and somehow built strong Black communities, built
What's
industry.
proper English?
I'm sorry?
What's
No,
proper English?
I said the King's English.
Uh,
The King's English. I'm specific on my words, right? Yeah, not the King's English. Because if you understand me, I'm speaking properly. And that's all I need you to do, to understand. Even if I pronounce the word wrong, as long as you get the idea, that's it. But I say that to say that we are phenomenal people, and we have to constantly indoctrinate ourselves with that, because the enemy is telling us that we less than. And once we buy into that identity, folks could come and cosplay, and we'll buy it hook, line, and sinker. That's why we're in the conditions we are in now. But if we realize that we are phenomenal people, that we are the children of the Creator, we are the ones who will not be destroyed. Ain't shit we can't do. We've already proved it to the world. There's nothing that could destroy us. Not racism, not crack, not police brutality, nothing. Nothing. No weapon formed against us has prospered, except the weapon of ignorance. We got to be smarter than the ops. I'm off my soapbox. Sister Keisha, I'm sorry, sis.
Love it, brother. It just, it flows how it needs to flow, because, there was another committee meeting here in New York as far as reparations is concerned. And of course, our independent Black media correspondent on the flow. She was on the flow. Now, before stuff get crazy, let me just say right here and right now, she is the grassroots Black media go-to. Period. She probably say that's a lot putting on me, but I don't put nothing on my people they can't handle, because she was there. She was there first. So let it be. I don't care who come later, because you're gonna have a whole lot of craziness Dr. Suki's and all of them gonna be coming later with the shenanigans. But I'm telling you who was there first. And that's my sister Brooke. So we're gonna bring her in there. I hope y'all following her on YouTube, on Instagram, because she be going in heavy. Sometimes 4 and 5 hours in the wee hours of the night. Brooke be up 3 o'clock in the morning, going live. She be breaking stuff down heavy, heavy, family. So we're gonna give our young sister her flowers and bring her up in there. Sister Brooke, what's good? What's good? Welcome to the Brooklyn Bridge, family.
Hello. Wow, that was a heck of an introduction. I don't even know what to say to that.
Well,
But thank
it's the
you.
truth. I ain't telling no lies. You was there. You was there. Period. So before anybody
I was
comes
there.
later, let it be known that she was there in the beginning. So, Sister Brooke, you know, the people know who you are. You've been on this platform before. But I wanted you to, because you're the war correspondent on this. So I wanted you to give our people the 411 on what took place this past Wednesday, Tuesday? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yes. Upstate
Okay.
Albany with the New York State Reparations Committee.
So can you hear? All right, can you hear me? Hello? Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
hearing you.
All
Go
right.
ahead, sis.
Okay. So Tuesday they had the meeting for the, what is it called? The Commission for Reparations. Let me get the exact. New York State Community Commission on Reparations Remedies Public. So this was the second meeting that they had. The first meeting, they were just pretty much choosing some of the positions, but they didn't get a chance to finish choosing because some people wasn't there. And so this week they kind of finished choosing who's going to do what duties.
You sound a little muffled, sis.
Is that a little better?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot better.
Right. Okay, so they were deciding basically the roles of everyone. And so we just got a chance, as they figured out the roles and everything, we got a chance to speak. We were very excited that Dr. Deborah Jenkins was vice chair. Yes, we were very excited. It was a nail biter because it was a 3-3 vote. The chair had to break the tie, and I was very excited about the outcome.
So, all right, they chose the treasurer. I know that much. They chose, well, kind of, because if someone else comes up that wants to take the position, she says she would relinquish that chair. One of the things that came out, sis, if you can expound upon, is that as this committee grows, they are going to have town hall meetings throughout the state and throughout the city. Can you give the viewers what was said as far as that is concerned up in Albany this week?
Yes, well, they haven't decided that yet, but that was one of the things that was brought up, was the fact that people need to be able to. They did focus on the fact that the community needs the opportunity to be heard. And so, there were different ideas being thrown around. And one of the ideas was like that we have meetings on the weekends, we have meetings in the city, that we have meetings after work. Also, I also found out that if any of the members of any of the commissioners have to teleprompt in like Zoom meeting in, then members of the public can do the same also. But if none of the commissioners Zoom in, then the public cannot Zoom in. Another thing someone brought up was the ability to be able to submit comments after the fact, to still be submitted on record. And I thought that was a very good idea. That was one of so these were various ideas being thrown around by some of the attendees like myself and the commission.
So for those of you in New York, one noted person, I think that all of us on this platform will recognize the name is Ron Daniels from First World is also on that committee. But he was talking about, them keeping their lips sealed pretty much until there is a formalization of talking points, if you will, for those who would come up and ask them, whether in a barbershop or at home or whatever, to pretty much keep it close to the vest until those town hall meetings, or where they can put out a statement to the public. But one of the things that I relayed to Sister Brooke is that who vetted these people? I don't know.
That's a very
But
good question.
and also too, um, I don't know. I look through. You can blame Attorney at War Automatics. That's who I'm going to put the blame on. That's who I'm going to blame. I look at everything with a legal lens, and some of the language can be a bit metallic in its approach. That means that everyone can somehow attach themselves to it. And that's one of the things that I relayed as far as the Freedmen's Project. A shout out to them.
Yeah.
But a lot of the language has to be concise, and you have to be very careful in an introduction as such. And I'm talking from a UAM platform where we had put forth petitions throughout this city to get things done. Most notably would be the Central Park Five getting their reparations. We put that petition together. We were the ones who submitted it to the city council and the controller's office. The United African Movement did that. So I say that because we have to be very careful with language when you attach it to a petition. And though I believe that the Freedmen's Project is upright in their approach to fight for reparations for foundational Black Americans, but the language can be quite muddy because everyone will be able to put their foot in it. And I'm guaranteeing you that is going to be the case. But I hope, listening to this committee, that they can have a clear understanding that the waters can be metallic. And we have to be very, very careful about that. Your thoughts, Sister Brooke?
Well, I work very, very closely with the Freedmen's Project. And I think that on first glance, it may see that because I think they did a lot of explaining. So in the beginning of a passage on their website, it's just there to explain the difference between the different groups of Black people here in the city. And then as you read further, it goes into exactly who it should go to, which is the freedmen, because there are only, the freedmen are a specific group in this country. So that does not apply to all Black people. So I agree with you that the language definitely, and that is the things that I think out of, it wasn't that many people there, but it was 3 of us there. It was 2 other representatives from the Freedmen Project, and all of us touched on the fact that it needs to go to foundational Black Americans, also known as the freedmen in this country. So and that was important for us to put that on record from the beginning. Dr. Daniels, I think I know it was you that let me know that that was Dr. Daniels' daughter. She was not there the other day, but she is a lawyer. And if anyone should understand why it cannot be racially based, it should be her, because it is illegal and unconstitutional to give racially based money. So we all 3 of us were out of all the testimonies that were there, it was us 3 who focused on the specific group that reparations should go to.
Good. Also, sis, one of the things that I noticed too, that because again, family, this is just the beginning stages of this committee.
Mhm.
I try to show patience with this because we have been forming committees since the late
Mm.
1700s. And it seems that these are bones that are thrown to Black people, and a lot of time wasted. Whereas in our introduction, we talked about people coming from other lands who don't need a committee, who don't need to wait 200 plus years for the states to identify their wrongdoing. One of the things that I say often is that if the Democrat Party really cared about Black people, they should be leading the charge for immediate cash payments of reparations. And I say that because they were co-conspirators in the trafficking of Black people, in particular after 1827. They were co-conspirators in the trafficking of enslaved and free Black people here in this country. So they should be leading the charge. And when I see a Democratic state going this route as far as trying to form a committee to see what can be done about reparations, I really try my patience because I know the history. And growing up under the tutelage of a great attorney, I see us going down the same road. I hope not, but I see that. Um, we shall see. We shall see. But I want the general populace to stay on this because you have to put the pressure on to make sure it gets done and it gets done in a timely manner. Did they say anything, sis, about getting this done in a timely manner?
Well, they only have a year. So at, after a year, then they have to present their findings. It's a little bit like, have you been following California? Because California
Yes,
bill has passed, and now they're waiting on the governor,
right.
who's not a individual, but we are waiting on the governor to now sign or say yay or nay. So it's a little bit like how I think theirs was 2 years, and then this one is going to be 1 year. Um, which is why I really appreciate Dr. Jenkins for pushing the fact that they don't have time because they keep wanting to wait to do things to the next meeting, to the next meeting, to the next meeting. And she keeps, just really honing in on the fact that, look, we don't have time for that. We only have a year.
So
And
again, family,
I just want to say this one thing to
go
you.
ahead.
You have been putting in such major, amazing work for quite some time. So I can understand where you're coming from. And that's why we're here to help. Because that's why anything, I'm texting you because I know that you have a history of knowledge that I don't have. And the opportunity to sit at your feet and hear that history, I just spoke it all in because it arms me. That is my armor as I go out
Hey,
and
sis,
continue the
you
fight
coming in and
that
out,
you
sis.
started. I don't even know.
That's better. That's better.
Okay,
I'm gonna ask
better.
everybody
Okay,
else to just keep themselves muted until you're ready to speak, because that will alleviate a lot of the feedback. Go ahead, Sister Brooke.
okay. No, I was saying that you have been doing this work for a very long time and amazing work, and I could definitely see how you feel that way. And we are here to help. and kind of carry the torch that you already lit and the torch that was lit before you. And I appreciate knowing you because your vast history of New York politics gives me armor when I go out and continue the fight that you started, you know? So, um, with I wouldn't have known some of the things that I knew without you. And so that is why I can see why you feel that way, but we're here to help now. And it's hard when you've been doing it for so long and it just seems like it's not going anywhere. And I get it. And what I will say is that we must, if nothing else, make sure that other people don't get this money and it turn out to affirmative action. That's the main thing. Even if it goes to the governor and she don't sign it, as long as they don't put no trick bag, I'd rather it not be nothing than it go to somebody else in our name. And then they tell us for the rest of our lives, well, you got affirmative action. Well, didn't that help you? So,
Facts,
I
sis,
just want to
facts.
say thank you. Oh, I said one more thing. I said
Yes.
this earlier, but I don't think you heard me. I so appreciate Dr. Short for introducing me to you because the opportunity to sit at your feet and learn, I'm honored.
Like we say, sis, steel sharpen steel over here. So it's no one above or below. We are in this war together, and some of us, you all play a part, and you just have to know what your part is. And I am excited, again, though patient, to see you all taking up this mantle and doing what you're doing. Like she said, she's texting me every step of the way, what's going on and what's happening. But I was watching on the Zoom. But we have to, family, please follow the New York State Commission on Reparations so that you can be abreast of when these meetings take place. In particular, as they move forward and they have these town hall meetings where the public has its access to stake its claim. Also, um, get into your family genealogy, know your lineage. This is for freedmen. A lot of us get it twisted, but be clear. And I want to say this to my brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora. When we win, it makes the battle easier for
Win.
you on your plane. And if you don't believe me, just look throughout history. Everything that we've done, your leaders have followed our lead and adapted those philosophies for their benefit. I said last week or the week before, rather, Kwame Nkrumah, one of the greatest to bring Africa into the world. I'm thinking what he did with Ghana, and Brother Tad has been there many times. He can tell you what he has done, but he himself said that he studied what we were doing here.
Yes.
So again, family, don't look at this as, well, they gonna get broke off and we not doing. Listen,
Right.
if we win with these folks, it's easier for you against the French. It's easier for you against the Germans, against the English, against the British. Do you understand this? So champion our cause.
Yes.
As our brothers and sisters in Haiti have always done. They have always been our allies. Look throughout history. They have, I'm telling you, when no one wanted to host a pavilion through the World's Fair for Black Americans, Haiti said, well, we will host it for you, and invited Ida B. Wells and Frederick Douglass to host their own pavilion at the World's Fair. We've always been allies, but in this battle, we have to fight our own fight, and you have to fight your fight. Steel sharpen steel, and let's learn from each other, and let's get what's rightfully ours. Go ahead, Brother Tad.
I'm glad we are so tapped in because I've been holding this question for a while, and you bringing it right home. Peace, Sister Brooke. Welcome back.
Hi.
Glad to have you back. Right. And Sister Keisha, she's bringing it home, and I love it. That's why she's my sister from another mister. I want you to talk. Why is this so important? That is for quote unquote foundational Black Americans / freedmen, because unfortunately, some of our folks think we're being divisive when we talk about this, but talk about the implications, why it's important that we get it, and not necessarily excluding other people, because as Sister Keisha said, use it as a case study to fight your fight where you are. Talk to that real quick, if you can.
Listen, family, that's going to take all show, but I'm going to make it quick. I'm going to make it quick for my brother.
Yes.
Throughout history, we have always understood the language of the oppressor. Whether we wanted to fight that fight or not is neither here nor there. We are beginning to understand the cracks in its ceiling. And if we fight this fight correctly, Brother Tad, this battle can be won so quickly. And I'm telling you, not years, because they are suffering right now. You know, people, I'm a digress for a second here. People are talking so heavily about the growth of China and its economy and where it's going and its dominance in the world. Well, China has a fear. China's fear is India right now. India is growing at a rapid pace that China cannot keep up with, and particularly as far as technology is concerned. This is one of the reasons why they want this Indian woman to be president of the United States. I know you all believe something different, but that's not the truth. It is because India is gaining dominance in the world right now, and very rapidly. In fact, I have to say this because I don't want to leave this out today. When you complain about the high cost of living, the high cost of your groceries, the high cost of, your necessities and clothing and things of that nature, here's what's happening. And this is why Kamala Harris really pisses me off. In particular, when she says that we would continue to stand with Israel in its fight and so on and so forth. Normally, because a lot of our products are now being imported, just like in third world countries, right? A lot of the containers, these shipping containers, come across the Red Sea. The Red Sea is a hotbed for battle right now with Israel and Hamas. And so it slows up the process of getting the containers to shores. So what's happening is China is playing hardball. They know that this is happening, so they are charging merchants double, almost triple the price to bring a container over shores. So, for example, what used to cost maybe $10,000 to bring a container of, let's say, sneakers across the shores, now it's costing you $25,000 to bring those over shores. Now, I know K. Rush, he's in the trucking business and he can confirm what I'm saying. Once the containers are brought to the port, you have a large backup. And so these truckers now are being pushed to the brink. If you have a CDL, I suggest you get in the trucking business right now, because you can make money hand over fist. Because once the containers hit the port, truckers have to pick those up right away and take them to various warehouses, locations where those goods can be dispersed throughout the country and the world. So now you have a backup. You have truckers. Look at what just happened in Canada. They were about to go on strike because it's too much. Then these demurrage charges begin to increase. So of course these manufacturers are going to push those costs onto you. What Donald Trump is saying when he says, no, we have to change this NAFTA agreement that we had with China and other nations to, we have to change the agreement with China and how we do import goods with them, because we are constantly losing here. We are constantly losing here. And the costs are going to continue to go up, as long as Israel and Hamas is fighting in the Red Sea. These costs are going to continue astronomically. I'm telling y'all right now. So India has, of course, joined BRICS and has begun to have dialogue with other nations to get resources to speed up their technological advance. And other nations who are throwing off the colonial regime are looking at India as a power play against China, because China right now has pretty much a grip on the Caribbean and the continent of Africa as far as development is concerned. But India is saying we can do it better, we can do it quicker, and for less money. So it's going to be problematic. So this is why they really want Kamala Harris in office right now, to try to deal with that, because Pakistan is also a thorn in India's side. So things are going to escalate. As Brother Black says, stay firm in what you're doing, because listen, I don't have a magic crystal ball, but I guarantee you something is going to happen between now and November, to try to do whatever is necessary to keep former President Trump out of the White House, just on that stance alone. And now his allyship with Robert F. Kennedy, as far as making him a czar and having these files released, as it relates to presidential assassinations and other things. So once these files are released, they can be used in a court of law to fight our cause. And a lot of these files that Donald Trump is talking about, in particular, foundational Black Americans, Indians, as far as we are concerned, he has made a stance and clear that these $5 Indians ain't the right ones. And y'all need to come up on y'all, because they, cosplaying your identity and taking what's rightfully yours. That's just my stance on it. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Brother Ty, your thoughts.
I'm loving it, because as you stated earlier, you need to know your lineage.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've told people for years, I've studied. I could tell you one of my first ancestors on my maternal grandfather's side of the family, the first plantation he landed into in South Carolina. I could trace my paternal grandfather's lineage back. Both my maternal grandmothers' mothers were indigenous. It says on their birth certificate. So I'm looking for money from all across the board. I'm looking for money all on the table. You got some Indian money? Give me that. You got some African money? Give me that. And I want some money for being from Brooklyn. That's it. I'm off of Fulton Street. Stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
Born and raised here. But I mean, it's a beautiful day and age, because something a lot of people don't know is that Trump did allocate money for Black people to go back to Africa. If you organize as a research group or cultural group, he did have money. But again, the rhetoric and the programming had us so anti-Trump, we didn't even look at things that could be beneficiary to us. So with him, like you said, with him opening these files, with all of the deletions of prominent leaders, this is very interesting, because as we see everything unfolding, even with the Zuckerberg thing, now admitting that the government pressured him to suppress the information. We all knew that we were getting a lot of lies. We knew better, but of course, people, they don't research like we do. Some of us have a love for this stuff. Some of us have a thirst for knowledge and information to reclaim everything that we lost since our sojourn here. So it's very interesting times, Brother Anunnaki been on point about the solar flares and the moon landings and so everything is coming to fruition. I just not ready for the fifth dimension yet, Brother Anunnaki. I need some training, some training drills or something. But we in some great times. We are born in the perfect time. We're born at the right time to see the right things for us to do the right thing.
Here's
Be on the
here's
roof
the
after
clip.
the show. I'm pulling up in the spaceship.
I believe you.
Here's the clip where this was actually a hearing that took place, and you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. When Trump said, you know, they don't look like Indians to me. Please look at this whole trial. I think it's on C-SPAN. You can see it. This whole hearing, rather, not trial, hearing on American Indians, because he was looking to do business with them, but he wasn't ready to do business with these $5 folks, Elizabeth Warren's folks. Go ahead.
Sis, was this the casino
Yes.
in Connecticut, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I remember this.
Is this you discussing Indian blood? We're going to judge people by whether they have Indian blood, whether they're qualified to run a gaming casino or not?
That probably is me, absolutely. Because I'll tell you what, if you look at some of the reservations that you've approved, you, sir, in your great wisdom have approved, I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me. And they don't look like the Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians. And a lot of people are laughing at it, and you're telling how tough it is, how rough it is to get approved. Well, you go up to Connecticut, and you look. Now, they don't look like Indians to me, sir.
Thank God that's not the test of whether or not people have rights in this country or not, whether or not they pass your look test.
Depends whether or not you're approving it, sir.
No, it's not a question whether I'm approving it. It's not a question whether I'm approving it. Mr. Trump, you know, in the history of this country where we've heard this discussion before, they don't look Jewish to me.
Oh, really?
They don't look Indian to me. They don't look Italian to me. And that was a test for whether people could go into business or not go into business, whether they could get a bank loan. They're too black. They're not black enough.
That's crazy. And you know, I believe that was Congressman George Miller for that. Yeah, Congressman George Miller on that. But yeah, this is you know, a fact. Again, identity theft that has been going on for quite some time. You see the congressmen automatically want to throw in Jewish people, want to throw in. We're not talking about them, bro. Nobody talking about them. Stay on course here. We talking about Native Americans. And I just passed the museum in DC a couple of weeks ago. I was just out there. But I'm telling you, y'all need to go visit the Native American Museum.
I just want to say, and his argument didn't make sense.
Facts, sis.
It just didn't make any sense. The fact that he was saying, like, you don't look Italian to me, you don't look Jewish to me.
Go ahead, Brother Black.
Sister Brooke.
He was like, oh.
Yeah. No, finish, please, Sister Brooke. Go ahead, and then I'll talk.
No, that was it. I thought you were telling me I didn't put the mic in front of my face. Or...
No. I didn't say that again. Sis, real quick. Something me and Sister Marcia talked about extensively offline that you brought up, and I got to address it. Being that you in a reparations committee, are you aware, and then are you dealing with anybody in the firm that Johnny Cochran ran back in the days, as far as they were supposed to take the United States to court, and they had all the evidence, he had all the lawyers ready, then all of a sudden he had his heart condition, and 2 weeks later he was dead. So are you familiar with that, first off? And then the question, well, the second comment is, are you, doing anything with them, to further your cause? That's the question.
Me personally, no, but go ahead, Sister Brooke, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I am familiar with that, but I believe that a lot of his work is where we pretty much got the rules, like for what we're doing now, as far as our status instead of race-based. As my understanding, it was him. That was his architecture.
Yep, and
But I'll let Sister Keisha.
Yeah, absolutely. He was definitely on that. But again, as Brother Black said, mysteriously, he's just gone out of nowhere. This is what happens when you go against a system that invests trillions of dollars in itself to maintain itself. We are dealing with a serious animal here. We are dealing with a serious animal. And, I'm had enough of these black folks, speaking against what we're doing or what we're trying to do, speaking out of turn, talking out of both sides of their mouths. It's disgusting, Steve Harvey. First you was champion Trump, and now you're champion Kamala. You don't trust nobody who can't control their sexual urges. This is a known cheater. Again, immoral. So you have no standing to give any commentary. You're immoral, sir. You live an immoral life. You go from one wife to another wife to another wife without divorcing the first one. You are immoral. Just like Kamala Harris, immoral. Ask the former Mrs. Willie Brown if she would like Kamala Harris to be president. Ask her. Let's ask her what she thinks. Again, here you got these people talking out of turn when they shouldn't. Here we go, family.
And Trump was accommodating. I'm gonna give the man this. The man was very congenial. As we said that, I said, well, I have a mentoring program, but my mentoring program is restrictive because I can only do about 1,000 boys, and I can do them only one time a year in each city. I want to create vision centers around the country where I can take these schools that you're closing in the inner cities, take HUD funds, put it with them, and then go in and refurbish these schools and buildings and turn them into a place where boys and girls can come and learn life skills, and parents can come and learn financial skills. You can go online, look them up. They opened up 3 of them. All the ideas I had given them, they enabled. He's gonna make America great again. Let's go, Donald Trump.
I'm doing this absolutely free of charge because I want this country to be in her hands as opposed to Donald Trump's hands. That's why I do it.
Again, Negroes talking out of both sides of their mouth. We got to stop having short memories here with this kind of stuff. But sister, brother, Blacksmith, your thoughts on the contradiction of Steve Harvey's commentary?
Well, I've said this on this show numerous times and in other places as well. According to the Q list, Harvey was done away with soon after he met with Trump because he's about all that trafficking and all that. I already broke down some things that you kind of stopped me from saying on the show, so I'm not going to repeat it here. But basically, as far as that's concerned, it's just a lot of the tactics that the powers that were, not be, were, are using now is distraction and just sleight of hand. Just basically to confuse those who haven't gone from one side of the fence to another. That's all that is. Hegelian dialectic with inside of cognitive dissonance.
Love it. Love it.
That's my answer.
And again, family, don't forget these black Democrats they put before you, talking out of both sides of their mouth, i.e. Michelle Obama, or whatever you wish to refer to her, former first lady, him, whatever. But anyway.
Her name ain't Michael.
Here we go. I knew he was going to start. Here we go. Here we go, family. Check this out.
And my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed.
Took more than they needed. Took more than they needed. You see her assets?
That's Big Mike. That she talking about her husband.
And listen, don't act like you speaking for me and talking out of both sides of your mouth. Because you don't have to worry about where your next meal is coming from. Because you got people who are working 2 and 3 jobs trying to maintain themselves. But they put people like this before you to say they speaking for you. If you know what I'm saying here. We got to be smart and wise, family. Let's not have short memories anymore. Sister Marcia, your thoughts on the double talk that's going on around with these black folks?
1 second. I just want to veggie back a little bit to Kamala and her stance on being a red dot person and the need for the red dot people. The red dot people have this space program, and they've been going to space and go visit the Anunnakis and stuff for some time. And their latest trip has been one of their biggest adventures. And they spent, I don't remember how many days in space. And knowing what's going on with the SpaceX program and Boeing, this is a needed relationship that they're trying to carve out. So us understanding that is truly crucial to relinquishing power, right? Because if they're leveraging something, we need to leverage something too. And we have enough resources to leverage. To your point on us being importers versus exporters, being from a tiny island, or my family being from a tiny island, our only resources right now is imports. And with that, it puts the island in a very bad state. And like you're talking about here, now America, I can't tell you how many ports they have, but in Haiti, they only got 2 major ports, and they've been backed up for 5 years. So you could imagine how hungry people are and why the country is being ravaged the way that it is right now. So I parallel this into this conversation right now because everyone continually talks out of their face. Everyone continually not look at the writings on the wall. They are listening to quote unquote celebrities to give them all their information that they need versus going and reading a newspaper, going and doing the things that you need to do to develop yourself as a good citizen, not even of New York or the world, but of this planet, right? Because these are planetary things that are happening to us at this moment. So, I loved Michelle's $9,000 suit. I love her $50 billion homes. And I love the fact that people that are just coming in, like I say, I'm never shy to say that my parents came into this country and my parents worked in this country, but people that are coming in after my parents are getting a free ride, and that's not fair because the tortures that my parents had to go through here in America, I think everybody needs to have their battle scars, and you can't get a free pass in America.
I feel you, sis. But again, the money that was thrown around at the DNC was just disgusting. There is no democracy in this apparatus. So much so that Chris Cuomo was ticked off. He was talking about the sweets. He couldn't get up in the sweets, y'all. He was ticked off. He was letting them know they charging us a grant to get up in there. They got us on the floor. Chris Cuomo, they got me on the floor. Yeah, because I'm telling you what's about to happen here, Chris. And white folks is getting ticked off because they seen. Wait a minute now. Hold on. Here we go. We're finding it around here. Check this out, family.
Let me reveal a reality to you that has to be spoken to here. Okay, Greg, look at the ring of sweets. Okay, this is not unique to Democrats. There is a game of money. When people talk about uniparty, we are strangled by the money reality in our politics. Those sweets start at 500 grand. You think there's like a teacher group up in there? You think it's like the Cub Scouts of Columbia County, South Carolina, that's up in those boxes? Those boxes are filled with the same people that they say they're going to regulate. They are literally looking down on the faithful and being told, yeah, we're going to break down on them. We're going to make them pay their share. They paid 500, 700, $1 million, $1.5 million. to have those seats. And the same thing is true with the Republican side. And they're going to take them down. They're going to change how it is. They are looking down from on high at the people who make the difference in their communities. And that is the reality of politics.
Chris is pissed off, boy. He said, I'm a white man. God,
now he remembers when he
white
was with
status.
ABC. He remembers when he was in ABC, sitting in those boxes, chilling. Now he's with the people. He wants his. He's calling for his own reparation. I'm a big time white man, and I used to be with ABC. I used to be up there. Now look at me.
Hey, he got nipples pierced. His nipples are pierced.
Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 guy. Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 guy.
Swallowed.
You ever been swallowed?
It's crazy. It's crazy when these white folks be having tantrums, child. I love it. I'll be on the floor. But this is
Get mad when I tell the truth.
This is what it is, family. You know, these political parties are bought and sold. If you don't believe me, let's listen to one of their analysts and let him tell you, so Thorough Black Talk won't be in trouble. Here we go.
Researchers state that BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard are the largest shareholders with 88% of the S&P firms. And morons and fucking imbeciles call this an equity market, a stock market, America, oh, the land of opportunity. Who the fuck are you kidding? 3 companies, and as he said, Kennedy, it's really one big company, own 88%. The crime syndicates running America. And as them buying up houses, Redfin said in 2023 that investors bought up 26% of affordable homes. That began, by the way, back in the Panic of 08, when there was the subprime mortgage crisis. The banks, the bandits, who got $29 trillion bailout, according to Bard College, Levy Institute of Bard College. Hey, you don't have a job? You're deep in debt? Don't worry about it. Sign over here. You got a subprime mortgage. So all these foreclosures that happened, the banksters, Blackstone, one after another started buying them up. And that's what the country's become. As I said, when I was a young man, there were grocery stores, hardware stores, stationery stores, drug stores. Now they're all chains. The researchers state that BlackRock.
Again, family, you know, it's big money. I tell you, they invest trillions of dollars into itself to maintain itself. You know, this is why the Freedom Party couldn't sustain itself, because our coffers couldn't meet theirs. And the people weren't ready at that particular time. But as Brother Tad said earlier, they're ready now. They're ready now. They're ready now. The question is, are you ready to put pedal to the metal to get it done? Because if you did get it done, you want to see a drastic change in the nation, it would be almost as drastic as the American Revolution was. I'm telling you this. And it wouldn't take years. One term, you could take over Congress. One term with an independent candidate in each state. Take over Congress, period. If you did that at a grassroots level, you're forced to be reckoned with. Then the money will start coming in. Black businesses will throw it at you. Why? Because they won't be able to sustain themselves without it. This is what white business, listen, when they talk on Meet the Press Sunday, this is what they talking about. I know y'all think they talking to you, but they not. This is coded language with each other. So again, you know, we coming down to the wire of our show, but I had to bring that point up. Now we are moving into Labor Day weekend, family. Nobody worked harder than a slave. Nobody worked harder than a slave. So, you know, again, if the Democrat Party really wanted our vote, this should be on the tongue of all of their lips to take care of the labor class, the original labor class. And we are like any debt collector, right? If you use up a service or credit card or whatever it is, you got to pay that bill when it comes to the end of the month or the first of the month, wherever, right? You got to pay that bill. That debt has to be paid. Even when you die, they coming for your estate. Okay, if your stuff ain't in trust and it ain't wrapped up right, they coming for your estate. We want our bread. I don't care if it's $21 you owe Con Ed. We want our $21 from the estate. So just like any debt collector, foundational Black Americans, we here to collect that debt. You're gonna have to pay for our ancestors who was bleeding and struggling, trying to survive and built this nation brick by brick. You're gonna have to pay. Period. So, family, this is why they bring in this influx of these migrants, also because they know that the voting polls have been going down since 2013 drastically on both sides of the aisle. The vote has decreased. So they want to uphold their systems. And I told you, when you vote, you legally give them the right to speak and act on your behalf. When you sustain it legally, they have to turn it back over to you. So since so many Americans across the board are abstaining from the vote, they saying, wait a minute, our system is about to collapse here. We got to keep some people in here to keep this thing up. Because if this keeps happening, we in trouble. Then the purge can really begin. But anyway, we coming down to the wire of our program, family. I got a lot of packing to do. I got to get out of here in the morning. So, Brother Blacksmith, your final thoughts and commentary. Oh, wait a minute, brother. I will let our guest, Sister Brooke, give us some insight as we going into this Labor Day weekend. A lot of people are off for that holiday. Nobody would think twice about foundational Black Americans, the ones who built this nation, as they taking off and barbecuing and gyrating down the parkway and everything else. People ain't going to think about us, but we got to think about us. So what do you say to the people who are about to celebrate or be off for this Labor Day weekend or whatever?
I would just say, be safe, number one, because a large gathering attracts all sorts of attention. And I would also say, just keep in mind, as you see all of the different colors of flag, how hard foundational Black Americans fought so that other Black people from the diaspora could come here. How we welcomed you and loved you as family. And we hope that as we continue in this fight, that we have allies instead of opposition.
Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis.
And I just wanted to say one more thing. I was so rude. Oh, I just wanted to say I was so rude because I was a little nervous. I forgot to say good evening to Marcia. I forgot to say evening, Brother Tab. And I forgot to say evening, Brother Black, but I know he's not here, but I was just a little nervous. Please forgive me.
We love you, sis. Don't worry about that. We crazy over here anyway. I don't know. We lost Brother Black. Something happened. You got to get back in the queue. Sister Marcia, your final thoughts and comments.
Well, Sister Brooke, thank you for the late good evening, but it's always a good time having you. So I know it was in your heart and it wasn't a misspoke, okay? And all those flowers that you gave to Sister Keisha, man, that made everybody's hearts delight. Sister Keisha deserves it. She has done so much work in the community and has helped a lot of people balance out their equilibrium, right? They were offset on their pendulum and they've found their center. So thank you for all of those accolades to Sister Keisha from me, okay? And you're great. Keep doing the good work. We are here to assist and help you fight and figure out strategies because teamwork makes the dream work. And right here, we're a team.
And as my closing remarks, I want to tell people that Labor Day, go bacchanal if you're bacchanal, and if you stand in your house, clean your house. As another thought, you must read international news. It is imperative. If you can't buy a newspaper, if you can't get a subscription, the newspaper is still free in the library. Go steal one. I don't know what to tell you, but it is imperative because you can make quick connections into what's happening in New York and U.S. politics, and how those things affect you. And lastly, I want to give Sister Keisha safe travels. I hope you and the family have a great time. And I'll see everyone else when we come back. Oh, may time flourish. And what else? May time flourish, or make time flourish. Whatever you want to do, have it flourish. Brother Black?
Yo, hey, Sister Brooke, let these people know you the real Brooke. I said that on the last.
Your mic is muted, bro.
Somebody muted me. I unmuted it. It went back on mute. But anyway, Sister Brooke, always a pleasure to see you here. Thank you for your presence. It's lovely. I'm glad that the answer was affirmative to what you said as far as dealing with the Cochran firm. I'm gonna keep this quick because I know Sister Keisha got a boat out of there in a minute. But the celestial is still happening. There was a plasma storm in the Midwest. Y'all need to check that out. The skies was all different kind of colors over the stadium, I believe in Minneapolis, where the Twins play. So check that out. That's definitely popping. There's a lot of M and X flares, hardly any C's. So if y'all been watching the show, or if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, y'all need to check out solar flares. And that's why they call me Brother Anunnaki, because I stay on my space grizzly. You heard? Okay, now, as far as that's concerned, supposedly Diddy's in the hospital because he tried to rape some guy in jail and the guy wasn't having it. He put the beats on him, whatever. And now he's supposedly unconscious. That's according to Jamil Peterson, who's from Philly. He's on YouTube. He always talk about a lot of stuff you ain't gonna hear on the mainstream press. So check him out, Jamil Peterson. All right, now, monkeypox, ignore that shit. No more need to be said on that. There's a hurricane that's about to affect the Gulf Coast from Florida all the way to Texas. Y'all need to check that out. If you in that region, don't get Katrina, don't get Rita, or none of those storms that moved through that area about 20 years ago and around that time, and around this time in them years when it happened. And as far as that's concerned, one thing that I wanted to cover, but I know we ain't gonna have time tonight, but maybe something we could put on the table for next time, is the black farmers did win some money from the FDA a few days ago. Don't get tricked by that, oh, y'all got this, so y'all not gonna get reparations. Reparations is for the fundamental purpose of repairing the people whose people were enslaved. So if you believe in inheritances, this is an inheritance that's divine for the people that will be given on a spiritual level. And I believe the retribution for that is going to be when they gone and we got this back and we can do whatever the hell we want, because that's what we are. With that said, peace and love to the panel. Peace and love to y'all out there in the audience, and peace and love to those in the near future. Holla Black and my sister Keisha. One love.
All right. Brother Anunnaki, Nanu Nanu, Shazbat. But no, Sister Brooke, it's definitely good to see you again. It's good, definitely dope to have you back. We appreciate you and the work you're doing. Family, this won't be long. Want to thank everybody for tuning in, rocking out with us. Of course, our usual suspects, Sister Vera, Sister Vanessa, Sister Marie, everybody who's been rocking out with us, we greatly appreciate it. Sister Keisha, please travel safe. All right, so hopefully y'all were inspired by something you heard here tonight. Your turn to go out and inspire others. Don't forget to tune in every Sunday, 2 p.m. OG Wisdom Podcast on YouTube. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, there's always better days ahead. Sister Keisha.
Thank you, family. Thank you for tuning and rocking with us every week right here on the Brooklyn Bridge. Sister Brooke, I definitely appreciate you and those kind words. You keep doing what you're doing, sis. It's our job as your elders, to be your backbone. That's the way it's supposed to be done. So we are here for you as you are for us, and keep doing it. Ancestors got your back. Don't worry about nothing. Ancestors got your back. Next week, we definitely got to get heavy into this. What could be a debate between D.L. Hughley and Tad's favorite, Dr. Sukiana. That's what you're getting. Is setting his foot
in the lunchroom, baby. It's going down in the lunchroom. Ow.
Hey, DL about to take a L.
They should do it at the
Sukiana
school.
might be Sukiana, but he on his dean though. For real, for real.
They should do it at the school.
That's who you call Dr. Sukiana.
They're gonna do it in the lunchroom at the school.
They're gonna beat our tables and battle each other.
Y'all are crazy. Y'all keep the panel needs help. They need a little treatment. Let's pray for them, family. But again, y'all be safe out there. Look out for each other. We all we got. Trust and believe that. Cameron's gonna be on 12 this holiday weekend. Trust me, they're gonna be on 12. So y'all stay safe. Watch yourselves. Look out for these kids out here. A lot of things have been happening to children, and it's crazy. We gotta protect these babies out here, family. So, without further ado, I'm gonna get up out of here. Like I said, I got some packing to do, or my husband gonna kill me. See y'all. Good night, y'all. We out.